Chapter 521 The Holy Emperor is awesome. Gene soars. 2 more. As for many former congressmen, they took a deep breath. Among them, the Eternal Lord hesitated for a moment, but still opened his mouth and said, Member Chen Mo did not have the authority to mobilize any world laws, he just used this power to keep the Star Soul world from being affected. In fact, confining the enemy's strength to such a narrow area will only increase the power of the attack. That is, no matter how powerful this attack is, he can easily block it. How is this possible? Hear the words of the Eternal Lord. The first reaction of most people in the Star Soul world is that it is impossible. Then came a deep shock. Because things happen right in front of your eyes, the live broadcast under the watchful eyes of the public cannot be faked. Generally speaking, this kind of attack that gathers the power of an entire civilization, and even uses the will of the planet, cannot be resisted at all, and even if it is blocked, it will suffer heavy losses. After all, the opponent has given up the defense of the home planet. This attack is completely the embodiment of the will of the entire civilization, and its power is extremely terrifying. In other words, Chen Mo alone has resisted the attack of the entire civilization of the 4th level civilization. What kind of concept is this? No wonder no one dared to believe this fact. You know, this blow still crosses the space and arrives in an instant. Added to the suddenness, it can be said that it is the pinnacle application of the world's civilized knowledge. Even if Chen Mo detects it in advance, it is impossible to react too much. If I were in that position, there are quite a few congressmen, bring them in and think carefully. Concluded. Must die. Yes, this is why everyone tries not to reveal the location of the parent star. You never know, if you push the enemy into a hurry, the other party will want to die together. At the same time, everyone broke out in a cold sweat. If Chen Mo died just now, it would definitely be a major blow to the entire Star Soul world. But luckily no. The vital point of this Star Soul world is actually the strongest defense. Calculate carefully. If the consciousness is strong enough to resist the attack of the entire 4th level civilization, then the Star Soul of the Holy Emperor should be strong, at least twice the will of the 4th level civilization's mother planet. Only by doubling, the group will have this crushing effect. But, what about the master of the planet, so that he can have such a powerful Star Soul? After reasoning to this point, even the most rational Star God was stunned. How many people does such a Star God have under his command? Could it be that Chen Mo's races are really exclusive races, not slaves? That's the only way to get the numbers right. But, if this is the case, won't the Star Soul be in chaos? It is impossible for him to gain absolute authority. All the Star Gods asked the scholars in the big library one after another. Or the experts around him, MPs. Soon, everyone gave a unanimous guess that Chen Mo could really develop all races into his own exclusive race, and then incorporate them under the will of the same Star Soul. No, how can that be? Different races, cultures, consciousness, and even life forms are completely different. Their disturbances of consciousness are completely inconsistent. Many people feel that their worldview has collapsed. This is very different from the powerful ways of the Star Soul world that they have studied and researched so hard. All of a sudden, exclamations were heard everywhere in the Star Soul world. The MPs were even more shocked. Is this the difference between them and Chen Mo? Can't understand it at all. It turns out that this is Chen Mo's whole card. He can have countless exclusive races. Wouldn't that be them, and soon to be part of Chen Mo's power source? Someone thought of this and suddenly realized. No wonder Chen Mo keeps finding suitable races. It all makes sense. Not a slave at all. He is gathering the will of all things and constantly growing himself. How did you do it? I don't know if this kind of knowledge can be made public. This opens up a whole new and powerful way. It's not brand new, but it's an improvement in the way the Star Soul world grows its power. We still have racial restrictions, but he didn't. As expected of a man who ushered in a new era. I really want to master this kind of knowledge. The Holy Emperor is awesome. This should be the real ascension. Gene soaring. Hurry up and accept the Parliamentary Reform Federation. I can't wait to join the glorious evolution. At this point in the analysis of the matter, not to mention the masters of ordinary planets, even the veteran Star Gods are all excited. With this kind of power, what do you have to own with this little property? The MPs were also shocked. This has directly subverted their worldview. Although they are constantly developing new powers, compared with Chen Mo, they can only be regarded as tinkering. They are only perfecting the power system of the Star Soul world. No fundamental breakthrough. Sure enough, As Chen Mo said, this time, the entire Star Soul world will change. Looking back now, they have to admit that their very existence is blocking this kind of change, and it will be a matter of time before they are removed from the positions of parliamentarians. Among them, because of this discovery, the most fanatical is the big library scholar. Many of them had red eyes. I can't wait to catch Chen Mo immediately and study it carefully. Wouldn't it be great if we could master this kind of knowledge and spread it on a large scale? Thinking of this, many people became short of breath. Especially Lilith. She is the one who communicates with Chen Mo the most among all the big library scholars. At this moment, countless people are asking her, is there such a more advanced way of cultivation? Dear Lilith, I have made a decision. I will go to Holy Terra as a researcher. Can you introduce me? The conditions are up to you. The person who spoke was a woman with an enchanting appearance, eyes like a fox, captivating. But she herself is very formally dressed. In addition to the body that cannot be concealed, it is a set of white research clothing. I have to say that Lilith and Chen Mo are still very destined. It was Chen Mo's first contact with the creation of the evil god, and Lilith had experienced every powerful turning point. Even, in the follow-up, Chen Mo was in the process of manufacturing tiberium ore planets, and more than 10,000 were produced. And this planet was later transformed into an evolution number by Chen Mo, which is the prototype of the current Ascension Fortress. In short, if Lilith is willing to contribute, arranging a person to work in Holy Terra is definitely not a problem. For a moment, not only this woman, but everyone looked at Lilith. How dare Lilith respond? God, I didn't realize that these girls are so wild. Look at the eyes. They looked at the Holy Emperor, as if they wanted to eat people. No way, there are too many people interested in Chen Mo. At this moment, those who have a relationship with Chen Mo are all entangled by various favors. Speak privately, Your Excellency Bayuni. Lilith quickly stopped the fanatical researcher. Hell, with Ming Gujiao saying it like this, everyone has to keep her leg. Okay, then I'll take it as your promise. Bayuni pursed her lips and smiled. Under the sun, her perfect figure exuded a brilliant golden light, which made Lilith feel uneasy. She quickly moved her eyes away, and then said, Bayoni, you want to go to Chen. The Holy Emperor, I can understand, this is what I want to do next. It's no problem to bring you, but how to do things for Chen Mo is not up to us to decide. Quote. If you can go, you can just mop the floor. The fiery red lips of the big library scholar Bayuni parted slightly. Nearby, even the scholars of the big library looked over enviously. Knowing that the two were dealing in private, they couldn't get in the way at all. Who wouldn't want to go to Holy Terra if they could? There is definitely a mecca of knowledge now. The scholars of the Great Library can be said to be the group of people who are most enthusiastic about research and knowledge in the Star Soul world. Among them, many of them have dealt with evil gods, and many of them have even lost their lives. After all, knowledge is a very dangerous special resource. Chapter 522 Level 4 Civilization. You guys are nothing. I only serve the Holy Emperor. 3 more. Huge spatial fluctuations detected. The result is being calculated. It is a star-class warship. The remaining 3 Level 4 civilizations are here. All of a sudden, the entire Star Soul world sounded the alarm. But no one panicked. Originally, everyone might be a little panicked, but now, it is obvious that the Star Soul world has an overwhelming advantage. Even without the Holy Emperor taking action, he can defeat the opponent. At this time, the Star Soul world is much stronger than before. Just collectively merging into the Sacred Terra system and joining the power brought by the Energy Network channel is enough to make several other 4th-level civilizations despair. What's more, it's time to wait for work now. Star Soul world has nothing to lose. And the other 3, after suffering heavy losses, brought their mother planets to fight to the death. Well, of course, that's just what the crowd thinks. Chen Mo looked at the huge distorted space with a strange expression. Hee, it's good to be here. Just let them see our God Legion. Your Majesty the Holy Emperor, I request to bring back my loyal legion of gods, and give them some color. Where is a little enough? Please allow me to do it myself, I will smash their planet into scum. For a time, everyone began to show a sense of presence. At no time have the 150 star gods been so fierce and warlike. Even the most fearful star gods are all gearing up. After all, the Holy Emperor has just demonstrated what power is, and what is called a terrifying power zone. With this person around, nothing will happen to them. As long as you stand out, maybe this is an opportunity to be valued by big shots. For a time, the entire capital of Star Soul World not only did not reduce the number of people, but frantically gathered. Go to war. Hit. This will destroy these 3 4th-level civilizations, and we will be the masters of this universe. The master is not enough, it is only half of the master. Void creatures should not be underestimated. The more people we have inside, the larger the territory we control. This problem is extremely difficult. Fear a fart, launch a great expedition, and destroy the void creatures. Difficult. There is no concept of distance in the void, positioning is a big problem. Stop pushing. Let's solve the trouble in front of you. Star Goddess Audai said excitedly. As soon as she opened her mouth, the surrounding stars Shendu nodded. What are you arrogant about? If it weren't for the Holy Emperor, it's really not certain who wins and who loses. Boom. The next moment, invisible gravitational fluctuations spread, and 3 huge planets appeared. Each one exudes extremely strong will and energy. The collision with the Star Soul world filled the entire dark cosmic space with light spots. Presumptuous. The Ice Queen snorted coldly, stretched out her hand to grab it, and slowly pulled out a spear from the air, and a set of battle spirits condensed all over her body. Fighting spirit soars. The temperature plummeted. Did you really think we were afraid of you? Ignorant slave master. Among the 3 major civilizations, representatives were sent, and his expression was extremely indifferent. He didn't look directly at the world-killing stars, star gods, that were constantly rising in the entire Star Soul world. Instead, he fell in love with Chen Mo. Then he knelt down slowly, saying the most hated words, sitting the most embarrassing thing. For a moment, the star gods who were eager to fight were dumbfounded. What's the point? Trick us. But think about it, as long as the other party surrenders to the Holy Emperor, it's really nothing. Is this the last stubbornness? In fact, several major civilizations are very unconvinced. That's why they talk like that. They were convinced by the Holy Emperor, not the Star Soul world. They surrendered to the Holy Emperor, and have nothing to do with the gang of slave owners in the Star Soul world. DAFG. Want to surrender with me? In Star Soul world, Chen Mo, sitting on top of the chief, tapped the seat. Boom, boom, boom. This slight sound made the representative of the 4th-level civilization who was kneeling in the air tense in his heart. He is not afraid of everyone here. But the Holy Emperor just glanced at it, and for some reason, a terrifying sense of tension made him feel his throat dry, and he lowered his head involuntarily. Well, what a scary look. He was shocked. This made him sound the Cthulhu. If anyone else could have such oppressive power, it could only be the evil god. At the same time, as Chen Mo spoke, the 3 parent planets also let go of their shields. Obviously, they are really ready to surrender. Still unconditional. I just hope that the Holy Emperor can reserve a little autonomy for them as the previous civilization did. Of course, they don't know that, in fact, this autonomy is astonishingly great. But it can also be said to be surprisingly small. The big aspect is reflected in unlimited resources, unlimited creative autonomy, and unlimited star realms. Small is reflected in loyalty. They will never be able to betray. But is the eternal flicker in the Holy Terra system. Slowly, the genes of the mushroom race will infiltrate into their genes, regardless of each other. In the future, as long as there are areas with their civilization blood, mushrooms can be constructed from the underlying genes. Genes are only one aspect. In the long run, everything from genetic material to ideology will be deeply affected and branded. I don't know if this is a kind of parasitism. At the genetic level, parasitism on an entire race. The whole universe will return to normal in the future. The mushroom race is hidden behind the scenes, circulating in the genes of different races, developing and growing with them. I can easily obtain all the fruits of their development. The more races there are, the more development models there are, the greater the probability that I will obtain various development and evolution opportunities from them. Chen Mo couldn't help but feel that if this goes on, there seems to be great potential. He is more than just the will of the planet in the Star Soul world. If the universe is seen as a whole, he is the most powerful collective will. But all of this can only be implemented after defeating the Devourer of Dimensions. Now is not the time to go big on racial diversity. Chapter 523 The Great Devil Comes. Chen Mo. That's it. One more. The Great Holy Emperor. We sincerely surrendered. Our elite personnel have all gathered on the home planet. See Chen Mo sitting on the chief seat without saying a word. Just tap the armrest of the seat. Representatives of level 4 civilizations are terrified. By the way, the evil god still bewitched us before, and wants to cooperate with us to enter the coordinates of the political office together. We were also confused at the time. We gave the other party a coordinate of arrival, and sacrificed a lot of consciousness, and a planet, to help the other party descend. Among them, I am afraid that a great demon will descend. At this point, they no longer have any whole cards. Except this one. It is suitable for taking it out now. Of course, even if it didn't come out, he would tell the information immediately. Void creatures. Collude with the void. FK. For a moment, the entire Star Soul world shook. Damn it. Purify this guy quickly. Void creatures are too scary. As a 4th level civilization, this thing is really crazy. The 4th level civilization buried by the evil god is no less than ours. Be careful, this might be a conspiracy by Void. Void creatures are very cunning, and they are not afraid of death. No, it should be said that they will not die at all, so we basically have nothing to do with them. Those of you who have not been in contact with void creatures may not know that their consciousness is extremely chaotic. Lawless, in short, those who have come into contact with it will never forget it for a lifetime. Don't talk about it, this kind of thing doesn't need to be popularized by low-level planet masters. Knowledge cannot spread, and a large part of the reason comes from the void. They control the source of a lot of knowledge. Undead, immortal, no fear, only know to have fun, this is the void demon. There was a lot of discussion among the people, and there was a star god with a bad temper, who had already released his weapon. Most star gods also have an attitude of immediate purification. It's not that they are timid. It's the development of civilization to the present, and countless facts make everyone react like a conditioned reflex. Contacting the void, no matter how tiny a void creature is, means trouble. Means glass ball, extermination order, inquisition. In short, no one wants to deal with these creepy creatures if they can. To be targeted by demons would be a lifetime of nightmares. Because of this, many people can only live in the Star Soul world for the rest of their lives. Went to other places and didn't feel safe at all. Fear of waking up and hearing, open the door, inquisition. Seeing the turmoil caused by his own intelligence, the representatives of the 4th level civilization breathed a sigh of relief. He knew that this information was really useful. The more Star Soul world pays attention to it, the more effective his information will be. The fact that these slave owners in the Star Soul world are afraid does not mean that the Holy Emperor is also afraid. He believes that the other party will not miss this opportunity. After all, if you hear about it and immediately purify it, what kind of skill is that? It doesn't even deserve his name. A real emperor will definitely feel that this is an opportunity to attack void creatures or study them. However, he was still wrong. Chen Mo just glanced at him and said lightly, yes. All accept the transformation. Dedicate your absolute loyalty. As soon as the voice fell, spores spread on the representative's face one by one. With his strength, he can easily break free. But dare not. Yes, great divine will. The thing about void creatures. He spoke respectfully. The 4th level must reflect its own value. They want to participate in the process of hunting void creatures and contribute research data on this world's contact with void creatures. Although it is extremely dangerous, it is said that the Holy Emperor has a way to resist the void. You mean these guys? Chen Mo smiled. He stretched out his hand and pointed lightly. I saw the space distorted, and a huge tentacle appeared, and a demon was wrapped in it. I saw the demon with a look of fear on his face and roared loudly. For a moment, everyone was dumbfounded. What's the situation? Didn't you say just now that demons don't know fear at all and are not afraid of death? The representatives of the 4th level civilization were even more confused. This is the great devil, he exclaimed directly. What frightened him even more was that there were spores spreading from this demon. This discovery made his pupils shrink instantly. A few minutes ago, deep in the universe, on an infected planet. 0 for flowers. A large number of void creatures gather here. During the twisting growth, a huge demonic projection began to appear. Huge shadows, obscuring the light. The next moment, the entire planet was shrouded in it. Damn it, a bunch of cowards. Let's go, there's nothing to see. This is the case with the 4th level civilization. Ridiculous, the entire universe was directly handed over to the slave owners. If they had launched earlier, they would have attracted the devourer alone. It would not be possible to reach this point, even to be destroyed. Waste. The void creatures sneered and roared angrily. It is clear. If you haven't fought for so long, then you won't be able to fight. 0. It was agreed to attack together, but this group of people gave an altar and let them come. Seeing that the army is about to take shape, but himself, he turned around and surrendered. It's really wonderful. No wonder it's not the Emperor's opponent. Waste is waste. Master Luke will definitely be unhappy when he hears the news. Alas, that is also something that can't be helped. The current universe is already dominated by slave owners. His minions can't corrode at all. I tried and almost burned myself to death. Don't do it next time. That terrible infection spreads to the void. The great Luke is the first to screw your head off. A big demon scolded viciously. Although he felt that Master Luke was a little too cautious. Obviously the strength is so strong, it is really too cautious. A few mushrooms. It looks very powerful, but it is only in a universe with sufficient matter. Come to Void to try, he will make the other party feel what is true cruelty. My lord, our bodies are already formed, why not attack now? There are demons to offer opinions. Quack quack, I can't wait to enjoy the world. This sensory stimulation, so cool. Cha-cha, I really want to thank the Holy Emperor. Without him, we would not have such a good opportunity. Who would know that the strongest believer of the evil god is actually a 4th-level civilization? The demons spoke one after another. At this time, everyone was restless and fanatical. I can't wait to experience it, the feeling of killing the quartet. Chapter 524 Immediate Lineage of the Evil God. Bring it you. 2 more. Restless. Excited to try. Quiet. The big devil frowned slightly. Suddenly the whole scene fell silent. Even in this universe, the great demon's deterrent power is full. We're sticking to the plan. This time, it's to plot against the entire heaven-like world. Instead of messing around a few times and leaving. So, wait for Master Luke's reply. As for the slave owners, now is not the time. The big devil sneered. However, at this moment, there are shades of red that suddenly emerge. The next moment, a tentacle projected like light, and quickly condensed into a solid body. The big devil reacted extremely quickly. Instantly broke free from the tentacles. But the next moment, something happened to him. Because this is just an appetizer, 060. Facing the entire dimensional spaceship that appeared, he was directly given up for treatment. To be precise, it is his body in the void that is being rapidly infected. The speed is extremely terrifying. This made him ignore the projection here. If it is a pure energy body, Chen Mo's infection control is not so easy, but he has condensed such a huge body size, and has built so many sensory organs for himself. Also, there is absolutely no immune system whatsoever. It can be said that this is the most infected creature Chen Mo has ever seen. It's like being completely undefended. As long as you can resist the opponent's strong consciousness and the harsh internal environment, you can grow at will. So very easily, the next moment, this great demon was dragged to the Star Soul world by Chen Mo as a technical demonstration, and pulled in front of everyone. Of course, if it weren't for Chen Mo being the master of the Star Soul world, just pulling the opponent over, the opponent would be burned to ashes by the laws here. But Rao is so. The demon also screamed. All kinds of sensory organs can not only be used for pleasure, Chen Mo can let the other party know with a little movement of his hands and feet. This is called real cruelty. Do not. Please. Don't kill me. The big devil screamed crazily. At this time, what he fears is not here, but the void. Because of his connection with this place, through energy, he was also infected. That's what kills. Seeing Chen Mo was ready to kill him like a chicken. He was even more terrified immediately, and said hastily, "You can't kill me. I am a direct subordinate of Great Luke. Even, my first energy came from Lord Luke. According to you, I belong to his descendants. If you dare to kill me, you will be completely against Lord Luke. He is the oldest god in the void, the evil god you call. When the time comes, the civilization of slave owners, you will be completely destroyed." As soon as these words came out, Chen Mo didn't respond. He collected a lot of void information. This Luke was one of them, and he was indeed a very powerful evil god, and even the demise of many 4th-level civilizations was related to him. Rumor has it that he has collected the most knowledge in the entire universe. It can be regarded as a real intelligent creature. But because of the emptiness, the other party is also a role model for Laziran. Chen Mo took it for granted that there was nothing to talk about with the other party. The way of thinking, the brain circuits, are not on the same channel at all. However, being able to catch the other party's descendants was an accident. However, Chenmo was calm, and the entire Star Soul world exploded. The scene just now shocked them all. Is this the true strength of the Emperor? Can only say terrible. In an instant, the big devil mentioned by the fourth-level civilization was captured. No need to think about it. The so-called offensive stronghold provided by the fourth-level civilization may have been burned into a glass ball. What shocked them even more was that 10 evil gods appeared. Evil god Luke. I have heard of this evil god, and it is recorded in many ancient inscriptions. The largest cult organization in the universe is this evil god. Since when did he get so interested in things about our universe? It seems that this evil Shendu has not directly opposed civilization, but prefers to trade. This time he sent people directly to attack. He must think that we are a big threat. That's a good relationship. The more the enemy opposes it, it means that we are doing the right thing. It is recommended to increase our efforts. I suspect this guy is lying. Impossible. Although void creatures are not afraid of death, they definitely don't dare to make fun of an evil god. Their hierarchy is very clear. Aren't you afraid of death? I think he doesn't have a urinary organ, or he would definitely have peed his pants. 0 degrees. If there is no accident, what he said should be true, and this evil god has really confronted us. The next target of the battle is the void. The Holy Emperor possesses such terrifying power. Even the great demon is scared like a chicken in his hands. I think he must have mastered the way to go to the void. Look, this big demon seems to be getting out of control. What the hell is going on? It shouldn't be. I wonder if there is something wrong with his body. Otherwise, with a mere projection, he could be as rebellious as before. Can the Holy Emperor attack the void creature's body from here? Probably. As soon as this guess came out, the entire Star Soul world once again had a heated discussion. If this can be achieved, that void is a fart. No star god would be afraid of an enemy that could be killed. I envy the Holy Emperor. Yeah, even the void is his hunting ground. It will be great when we can have such power. Don't count on it. Our talents are not good enough. Even if there is an opportunity, we can't grasp it. In the world of Star Soul, the strong are respected. Everyone is fighting for MPs. There is a high probability that there will be no members of parliament now, but there will definitely be a ranking in the future. Star gods with ideals want to become stronger. And Chenmo is the envy of 1.4 people. It's not like there's no chance. The current crisis is an opportunity. Under the leadership of the Holy Emperor, if we can defeat the Devourer of Dimensions, then it will not be a problem for us to cross all universes. At that time, everyone will have the opportunity to reach the height of the current Holy Emperor. Cthulhu. When the time comes, we'll pinch him with one hand and roll his eyes. Many stars became obsessed with Shendu. They all long for this day to come. In the setting, Chenmo has set a good example, and everyone is thinking he can replace him in this position. Of course, what they don't know is that Chenmo doesn't care at all, even if they say so publicly. The reason is simple: the harder everyone works, the stronger he is. Who would dislike the workers under his hand who drive screws 24 hours a day? Moved to tears. Chapter 525 Evil God, come. One more. In the world of Star Soul, everything is changing too fast. Even the most adaptable star god feels a little uncomfortable. They spoke positively, in order to discuss with other people, what is the current world in the end? Star gods, how should we develop next? Everyone is very concerned. If there is no accident, there are still some of us who can reach the height of the Emperor. The premise is to be able to travel to other universes. Pioneering, expedition, this is really exciting. These are not enough. You must exterminate a large number of creatures, and continue to obtain resources for the Star Soul world. I'll go. What's the difference between us and the Devourer of Dimensions? Or rather, there is no difference between us. The difference, why do we have to be different from them? Whoever wins can survive. This universe is so ruthless. Knowledge turns into power, and will drives everything. Only the winner can forge an immortal star soul. Quote. As for those extinct civilizations, they are just products of failed evolution. I will build a civilized cemetery for them, and each one will be properly recorded. Hear this. 30 many star gods nodded in agreement. The essence of what they have been implementing is this model. Not only them, but other civilizations are similar. How does a non-war civilization survive in this cold and ruthless universe? Impossible. It can only be more ferocious than the other. There can be warmth internally, but externally, there is absolutely no need for it. Any star god has exterminated many civilizations on the way of growth. Question mark. Everyone knows it too. Low-level civilizations can spread and multiply at any time. On the scale of a planet, nature is extremely precious. But what about the entire universe? That's nothing special either. To be able to contribute to them is to make the best use of everything. Of course, unlike the evil gods, the star gods will not do meaningless fun. Even if there are, they are all individual psychological problems. This can easily attract the prying eyes of the evil gods, but one should be vigilant. I don't know who is stronger, the evil god Luke or the Holy Emperor. This big devil dared to bring out the evil god. Obviously he was confident in the strength of his old ancestor. The evil god is very powerful. I don't know if the Holy Emperor will immediately fall out with the other party right now. I think this big devil is dead. Get up and talk slowly. Talk? Are you kidding me? We are at odds with the evil god. Staying here will be a disaster sooner or later. There are many ordinary people in the Star Soul world. If the other party invades, it will be a big trouble. Should be killed immediately. It's not right. It's better not to intensify the conflict immediately. You can try to fool the evil god. If these guys really go crazy, the Holy Emperor alone can't control it. If I were the evil god Luke, the first person I would kill would be this cowardly devil. Hee. It turns out that the big devil is also afraid, thinking that this group of bastards are really crazy to the end, and they are not afraid of anything. Many star gods carefully observe the great demon. There are really not many such opportunities. Taking this opportunity, everyone is also secretly observing the power of the Holy Emperor. How did he do it? Everyone is very curious, and what makes them very strange is why they keep infecting each other while suppressing this big demon. Could it be that the existence of the other party must be maintained in order to locate the void? But at this moment, the great void demon in front of him suddenly exploded. It exploded, but at this time, the opponent was already very weak, and the aftermath of this explosion was like a small firework. Apart from being a little nice, it didn't cause any waves. Even a star god looked carefully at Shenmo and didn't notice this. Died, so suddenly, however. Just when everyone thought it was over. The surrounding void creatures trembled suddenly, and then gathered together. The big devil is projecting again. Do not. Please, Holy Emperor, great strong man, please let me go. The big devil was already crying, screaming in despair. His body in the void has been deeply infected. If Shenmo continues to entangle, he will only be killed immediately by the rest of the frightened big demons. Because through him is the source of infection, there are a large number of spores, which spread and spread in the void. It's just too scary. He was freaking out. At this time, the only way out is to beg for mercy. Originally, he thought that he was not afraid of such a small infection at all. Before, Luke Tianren also said the same. Although there was an infection once, he also investigated it, and it was far less terrifying than this time. Even he couldn't avoid it. Now, his energy body located in the void has already infected more than half of its area. Soon, he will lose control over his body. What's more, his consciousness seems to be changing. He is losing control of his core consciousness. The other party is continuing to exert influence on him. This terrible influence was so familiar to him, yet strange at the same time. Unexpectedly, one day, someone would reverse his will and purify his mind. Thinking of this, he immediately collapsed. Don't stop. 753 Lord Luke will come after a while. You will die without a place to bury you. Your spores are the traces you left behind. Follow these karma later, and kill you together. He roared anxiously. At this moment, he regretted so much why he didn't immediately follow the opportunity to leave after seeing the surrender of the 4th level civilization. I forced a few words on the spot, but I didn't expect the consequences to be so serious. What made him even more desperate was that, even if he got rid of these terrible spores now, he might not end well. Lord Luke might have killed him directly for Aquan Sake. After all, the cosmic creatures all know that the safest purification is to exterminate all suspicious sources. And he is the pathogen at this moment. Evil God Luke. I'm just waiting for him. Shenmo glanced indifferently at the twisted thing in front of him. Now, behind him is the entire Star Soul world, and the evil gods cannot directly reach this world. How can the other party tolerate him? The matter of the whole world is easily controlled by him. If the other party projected over, he would be beaten by him. If you dare to come, it is just to test the quality of the other party. Just when Shenmo was thinking this way, he suddenly felt that the spores that were spreading wildly in the void were instantly reduced to ashes. Only one survived. That's on the big devil. Here come the evil gods. Chapter 526. Evil God Luke. Dark, evil eye. 2 more. You. What are you going to do to me? The big devil was already terrified at this time. I didn't notice any changes around me at all. Hee hee, it's all about joining the glorious evolution. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt. With a thought, Chen Mo made various observation organs grow on the big devil's body, and looked around. But to be honest, the void is really difficult to operate. Many extremely powerful abilities of the spores have been weakened here. Here the cosmological constants are different, and there is no concept of distance. Many methods that were commonly used in the past have to be explored again here, and then compiled into a set of usable experience, knowledge. But it was not difficult for Chen Mo at this time. Just by talking, he solved the problem of how to absorb energy and how to multiply mushrooms in the void. Do not. It's okay if Chen Mo doesn't say anything. Saying that, it made the big devil's sense of familiarity even stronger. At this moment, he really wanted to kill himself directly and return to the void. But gritted his teeth, he didn't dare. He hasn't lived enough. Better to die than to live. Now is the era when the entire universe is in turmoil, and he really doesn't want to fall away. You know, if he dies this way, he may never be able to return. After all, the person who killed him was too powerful, and the other party must have follow-up means. Think about the scene after death. Dead silence, nothing, the disturbance of consciousness gradually returned to calm and fell into boundless darkness. Just thinking about it made him freak out. So after struggling for a while, he finally gave up. Still alive now. At the same time, he also felt that there was a terrifying force surging around. The spores in his body were actually decreasing rapidly. This allowed him to regain some thinking ability in an instant, and he knew that hope was coming. Waiting for Master Luke to come. At the same time, he also felt horrified about his state just now. That was definitely not his natural thought. His consciousness was affected just now. Very scary. At this moment, he suddenly felt that his thinking became clearer, and his courage returned instantly. Coming. Ha ha ha. Lord Luke, you finally came. At this moment, the big devil seemed to be waiting for a savior, and he was about to cry. He has never felt that Lord Luke is so handsome, majestic and mighty for a moment. Boom. Not only in the void, but also in the universe, there are projections of evil gods. Countless darkness surged, like living creatures, and the spreading area was as huge as a star. It can be said that the sun instantly covered the sky above the Star Soul world. At this time, the entire Star Soul world seemed to be talking to a huge mouth that was constantly distorting and a pair of scarlet eyes. Seeing this scene, many star gods could not help but shudder. Feeling cold. It's not an illusion, it's real. The opponent is in the void, since it affects the temperature here. Although it was only a little bit, it was enough to make the hairs of the great star god stand on his head. Some people even exclaimed, and in fear, launched an attack on the projection on the side. However, useless. These phantoms that exist in another dimension are just phantoms. FK FK FK. Evil God Luke. There is no fixed form. The most obvious feature is a terrifying substance surging like black mud, and a pair of scarlet glasses. No, not a pair. I looked over. What are the eyes all over the sky? FK. The Inquisition is coming. This man is affected. For a moment, many star gods around turned pale with shock. No wonder the big devil keeps struggling and begging for mercy, just waiting for the master behind him. It was the evil god who gave him hope. Suddenly discovered. One evil god can affect us. If the 3 evil gods appear together, wouldn't it be? The void is indeed a very dangerous area. These 3 are just the strongest and oldest evil gods, and some lesser-known ones are also growing stronger. The competition in the void is very fierce, but after all, it's not like our universe, which needs to be reshuffled every once in a while. It's about to start a fight now, and the evil god will definitely not let it go if he puts on such a big scene. The Holy Emperor also let go of the words just now, and it would be embarrassing to end like this. Hit. Knitting wool. We can't do it at all. We can only watch. I'm so anxious. The star gods became anxious one after another. They are not strong enough to help at all. As for many former congressmen, they all looked at each other. They are strong enough, but the Holy Emperor didn't say he wanted to help, did he? It's okay to see. Our Star Soul world must not lose. We are always ready to join the battle. Everyone whispered. But between the words, no one took the initiative to act first. They are all looking at Chen Mo. The real master has not been suppressed yet, so what's the use of them following in the limelight? There are also congressmen who are more resistant to Chen Mo, and some even hope that Chen Mo will suffer a bit. In this way, Chen Mo will sooner or later, these powerhouses, no matter what, are the pillars of the Star Soul world. Therefore, in their view, it might be a good thing to suffer a bit. Whether it is for them or the future of the entire Star Soul world, it is a good thing. After all, the Holy Emperor had never lost before, so he was discouraged, so as not to be so arrogant in the future, always thinking that he could win every time. It's time to prepare yourself for retreat. Fight, always consider the situation of failure. On the other side, the people of the fourth level civilization also gathered on the 3 home planets. At this point they were dumbfounded. It is agreed that I am willing to charge forward. But this enemy is too. Woo woo woo. Wow, some timid Zhao Zhao even cried. Can this be played? Can't do it at all. Really angered an evil god, and the other party took action at any cost. Really very scary. With this posture, they think that if they go up, the loss will be very heavy. Backquote, but this is enough as a nomination certificate. Already, level 4 civilizations are all created by fighting, so naturally they will not back down. Are you really going? Don't wait any longer and see what the Holy Emperor will do next. I feel that the Holy Emperor is very powerful, and the evil god just looks arrogant, but there is nothing he can do about it. Since this is the case, we should attack. A commander said loudly. Impossible. The evil god is so powerful, do you think he can't do anything? At the Level 4 Civilization Conference, everyone was dumbfounded. Unbelievable. Chapter 527 Stupid Organism, How Do You Want to Die? One more. Since when did this group of slave owners become so powerful? No, it should be that person. Holy Emperor. The development speed of the other party seems to have no upper limit, which is too terrifying. Even the evil god can't do anything to him. If it is like this. Involuntarily, they all rejoiced. Surrendering is undoubtedly a good choice. Otherwise, if you choose to cooperate with the evil god, wouldn't it just be cannon fodder? The evil gods can't do it themselves, they are simply fooling them. For a moment, everyone was staring closely at the outer space of Star Soul world. This battlefield spanning 2 dimensions is extremely strange at the moment. In the void, under the observation of countless star gods and 4th level civilizations, the appearance of the evil god Luke is constantly changing, becoming more and more strange and terrifying. Like a huge mouth, the next moment, it will swallow the entire Star Soul world. Even, in the entire Star Soul world, horrible illusions like black mud writhing appeared. Some people even heard whispers. For a time, signs of impending chaos were everywhere. But everyone didn't move. The reason is also very simple. The Star Soul world is a very mature and reliable world. Everyone believes in one thing. The Star Soul world itself is still there, so 733 will be fine. So although afraid, but the problem is not very big. The evil god Luke naturally knew this, so he didn't look at the descendants of the great demon who needed to be rescued, nor did he look at those 4th level civilizations that went back and forth. Instead, he stared at the most powerful slave owner. Holy Emperor, all the problems are rooted here. Interesting. Little ants, do you know what you are doing? Dare to do something to my descendants. As soon as the evil god Luke opened his mouth, the cold breath suddenly became heavier. Even, there were strong whispers, floating with the wind, and the surging darkness made people want to retreat involuntarily. At this time, the entire Star Soul world emitted a faint light. But correspondingly, the entire universe was completely darkened. The entire Star Soul world seemed to be the only light. The darkness, the boundless darkness, is like a tide, beating against an invisible shield. Say, stupid organism, how you want to die, Dabe? He suppressed the bloodthirsty killing, but the perverted excitement still made people tremble. Originally, he thought that after he became one of the strongest evil gods, the entire universe would no longer have much fun. So find a treat. He's all about taking it slow and enjoying it. Unexpectedly, today, such a thing happened. Interesting. Really quite interesting. Of course, he was still very angry. He didn't feel the other party's fear. Under the light of the opponent's consciousness like the sun, many ants are actually very confident. Dare to look him in the eye. This is unbearable. Of course, he also vaguely felt uneasy. Because this Holy Emperor is really a bit powerful. Powerful is somewhat unreasonable. In short, such unpredictable things are dangerous. must be cleared. What's more, the Holy Emperor has developed a technology that he doesn't understand at all. Can interfere with the void. If this kind of technology is allowed to develop in the visible universe, in the long run, the status of void will definitely not be maintained. Positioning the void is dangerous. This point, he is very clear. If you knew it earlier, you would have wiped out these civilizations in advance, instead of waiting for interesting toys to appear. But now, it's too late to say that. Once the technology appears, according to the usual observations, it will definitely develop rapidly. And it's hard to get rid of it completely. This wave of losses is a bit big. Hidden dangers are buried in the future. But no matter what, he finally caught a sample, that is, the infected big devil, so he could take a closer look at this technology. Then find a way to destroy this slave owner civilization and enjoy the fun of despair. You are the one who should think about how to die. Chen Mo's eyes were cold. He was completely oblivious to the horribly distorted sight around him. He has long been tired of playing this trick. Basically immune. This is not a place you can pretend. Okay. The evil god Luke was taken aback for a moment. I don't understand why the other party is so confident. Although he has no way to pass, but he is fully recovered. He is extremely powerful when he emerges from a deep sleep. In the entire universe, there is no problem with who he wants to kill. For weak tissues like organisms, he has 10,000 ways to divide, corrode, and play with them to break them down. But at this moment, boom, terrifying light burst out from the Star Soul world. At the same time, in a farther area, a huge dimensional spaceship opened. The next moment, a huge scarlet moon projection appeared in the area where the evil god Luke was. The dimensional spacecraft easily located the location of the evil god through the spores that were born. The dimensional spaceship wielding a huge lightsaber looks like a monster emitting endless pulse energy, and the terrifying power rolls up a huge wave in the void. Countless sleeping ancient demons were affected before they could wake up, and then were smashed into pieces by the energy. In the cockpit of the Dimension spacecraft, there was a radiant voice, even wearing a golden armor, like the sun. The entire void brightened up. This is Chen Mo's consciousness projected into the void with the aid of a dimensional spaceship. He himself sits on the throne of the chief member of parliament, but his consciousness has already reached the first front. For you to run fast. Chen Mo couldn't help complaining about his bad luck. The evil god looked arrogant, but he didn't expect to be so cautious. As soon as he made a move, the opponent didn't say anything cruel, and just ran away. The void has no concept of distance. When the other party has a thought, they don't know where to go. Yi Fei's current void gate has not been built yet, so there is no way to quickly locate it. Can only let the other party leave. If the other party slows down a little. Yi Fei is sure, with the help of the dimensional spaceship and the power of the entire Star Soul world, he can keep the other party behind. Chapter 528 The Holy Emperor, shining on the starry sky. Next stop, Void. One more. Star Soul world. The eyes of hundreds of millions of creatures gather here. But at the moment, there is silence. All Star Shendu was stunned. The fourth-level civilization and the few remaining cosmic beings, as well as the big devil who was still smiling and rushing over to watch the excitement, were all scared to death. Almost all eyes fell on the sun in the universe. Shining brightly, it seems to illuminate the entire universe. In a real sense, the darkness is dispelled. There is no doubt that in the visible universe, no one is so dazzling and powerful. Chen Mo's strength is too scary. He directly affects the void and the visible universe just by relying on his projection consciousness. Even in the universe, he can see the huge light far surpassing the bloody red moon. The extremely penetrating hot light makes every creature's, instinctively, resounded the first light from the depths of the genes, the beginning of evolution. Feel the light that traverses the two worlds. People of different camps and mentalities have completely different feelings. Some people feel fearful and feel that they are too powerful, which is not good for them. Some people feel that the Star Soul world is completely stable now, and they can lie flat. Others feel warm in their hearts. Many void creatures looked at each other and immediately fled to the distance. This place must never be approached in the future. As for the original counselors, looking at Chen Mo at this moment, they lowered their heads silently. At first, they thought that they were also counselors after all, but now, they felt that they were indeed a head shorter than the other party. The evolutionary light of the Holy Emperor has spread to the void. Very well, this time they showed such terrifying combat power, the rest of the fourth-level civilizations should be completely honest, the evil Shendu can't do anything to us, they have nothing to do but surrender. Exclamation mark quote. It seems that our great holy emperor is really ready to march into the void. This time scare off the evil gods, and the follow-up will be of great benefit to us. Come on. The great expedition begins. This is the most powerful star god I have ever seen. Could it be that the Holy Emperor has reached the level of the strongest member of parliament, and has gone one step further? That power. I feel that it is much stronger than the original Lord of Eternity. In addition, the Holy Emperor has only just advanced, and he is not familiar with the power of many star soul world laws. There must be a lot of room for improvement in the future. I can only say that the era belonging to our star soul world is approaching, and the Holy Emperor is about to rule the entire universe. Lord of the universe, why do I feel that this is not scaring off, but crushing? If it weren't for the evil god running fast, he was caught by the huge tentacles of the dimensional spaceship just now. This tentacle can suck up the matter of a planet in an instant. If it is entangled, I don't think the evil god can beat a fourth-level civilization, parent star. The dimensional spaceship, under the blessing of the Holy Emperor, seems to have become stronger. I feel like a living thing. No, it's more like the body and armor of the Holy Emperor. The 3-star class warships, each of which has unique technology, they are armors that the Holy Emperor can wear. Hiss. You are really saying that? What about Holy Terra? If this planet also moves, I dare not think about it. In the future, our star soul world can also be upgraded and transformed into a similar planet, with powerful force, terror, and even the ability to leap and move quickly. If I hadn't witnessed the rise of the Holy Emperor with my own eyes, I would have suspected that this was a top powerhouse of the former civilization who had recovered from history and sneaked into our civilization secretly. That's right, just for the supreme weapon. There are currently 3 exposed, but I don't know if there are any more. The Holy Emperor has gone farther than we thought on the road of materialism. The 3 aspects of energy, space, and growth have all reached the peak. In the star soul world, countless star gods showed shocking expressions. At this moment, because some people are not doing other things. Instead, he was observing the battlefield. Without exception, they didn't dare to distract themselves, for fear that if they were not careful, they would miss the wonderful moment again. This is the Holy Emperor himself. In the future, maybe there will be no chance to see it again. Shock. Absolutely precious video data. Many people have carefully preserved the materials they just recorded. At this moment, a member of parliament who was originally powerful, proficient in calculations, and held the authority of statistics, exclaimed. The Holy Emperor is at least 30% stronger than the evil god. 0. Through the scope of influence of the 2 of them on the void and the visible universe, as well as the strength of consciousness can be calculated. The void has no matter, so powerful, apart from using knowledge as a lever. The role of the consciousness of the lever itself is very important. Therefore, my calculation is highly likely to be accurate. Of course, if I can introduce more void data and perform calculations, I can be more accurate. This wave of analysis is justified. Even, this data representative also gave the calculation process, and displayed it on the Minister of the Star Soul World Network. For a time, the number of views skyrocketed. Almost all star gods have a copy. Awesome. Big Brother's analysis is too correct. The Holy Emperor is so strong. 0. 6. Can I think that this is bragging about the Holy Emperor, but actually showing his own strength, so that he can be valued by the Holy Emperor? If you want to calculate more accurately, you need some data from the void, which can only be provided by the Holy Emperor who illuminates the void. I don't want to know anything else. I just want to know when the Holy Emperor will use his dimensional spaceship to fill it with soldiers. My big eagle is already hungry and thirsty. I want to fight the void for the Holy Emperor. In just one day, how do I feel that the dimensional spaceship is stronger than last time? It's natural. You haven't seen the Holy Emperor ascend to the Chief Counselor in one day, and become the real strongest in the Star Soul world, number 1. If it's just a dimensional spaceship, we won't be much of a threat to the void. I doubt there is a more convenient device. As soon as these words came out, the entire Star Soul world was directly shaken. Everyone's heart trembled. If it is like this, it can be imagined that not only will Star Soul World Fey not stop in the future, but it will also usher in a wave of faster growth. You know, the void is a real treasure trove. Of course, no one had dared to think this way before. But this time, the Holy Emperor, the strongest in the Star Soul world, repelled the evil god in front of everyone. This is enough to give everyone confidence. The bursting kind. Chapter 529. The Golden Age. Will evil gods be afraid too? One more. Star Soul World, known as the slave master of the universe. How courageous these star gods are is actually very clear. As long as they really have the strength, they are called rampant. Among these star gods, many of them have stayed close to the strength of great divine power for a long time. The reason is also simple, although the world of Star Soul has been developing. But the higher you go, the more you can pay attention to the law of the world, and the more you have, the less others will have. In other words, there will always be only 100 people with strong heads. But now, times are different. There are brand new rules of the game. Plus a large new area that can be used for looting. Everyone was moved. Senator, that's the dream of everyone. In a Star Soul world with over 100 million star gods, there are only 100 counselors. One can imagine how difficult it is to reach this level of strength. But Chen Mo obviously has a way, the other party just short of 053, in just a few months, and it seems to have swelled to far surpass the strength of the congressman. Even better than the evil god. And the other party didn't hide it, and shared part of the knowledge, and even forged a miraculous creation like the Ascension Fortress. As long as you enter it, you can modify the genes, join the Infinite Energy Network, and join the Army of Ascension. The most amazing thing is that there seems to be no limit to this powerful path called evolution. Chen Mo himself, as well as many strong men under his command, are living examples. If there were still doubts before, no one doubted this time when he defeated the evil god. Even the congressmen were speechless. Everyone knows that a new era of the Star Soul world has really arrived. The Golden Age is as bright as the golden light of the Holy Emperor. Call this the Golden Age. A star god had an idea and suggested. This not only symbolizes the characteristics of this era, but also implies the image description of the Holy Emperor. For a time, this suggestion was supported by many people. The Golden Age of the Star Soul world. At this time, there was a fourth-level civilization with an expression of envy and hatred, and murmured to itself. We have worked so hard and accumulated the knowledge of countless generations, but the result is not as good as others producing a genius. It's incomparable. The Holy Emperor is too strong. It is certain that the power of the Holy Emperor comes from expansion. There must be some deep-seated reason for this, because every time his expansion is accompanied by a surge in strength. Hear this. Many cosmic beings who secretly monitor the network built by the fourth-level civilization, but have not yet had time to seek refuge in the Star Soul world, feel their necks getting chills. Immediately they emerge from some hidden corner. Sooner or later you have to surrender, it is better to take the initiative. At the same time, many great demons also felt something was wrong. They came a little late just now, and missed the time to support Lord Luke's descendants. However, they did not regret this, on the contrary, they were very fortunate. If you come earlier, it will become a wisp of black smoke rising from the void. Yes, how he died, I don't know. Not only that, one's own knowledge, even power, might be plundered by the other party in some weird way. This point, in the void, has become a consensus. Otherwise, there is no way to explain why the Holy Emperor was able to become powerful so quickly. It's almost the same as our void creatures devouring each other, and the speed Wang Da is basically the same. The Holy Emperor is destroying the balance of the entire universe. That's right, as long as the opponent invades the void, the peace of the entire void will be lost. Didn't we have an agreement a long time ago that if a certain creature does this, we must gather strength and kill the opponent? Only in this way can we maintain our advantage. Lord Luke is the one who suffers today, but our situation is actually the most dangerous. The other party made it clear that they want to start with us. For sure, if I have the ability to continuously expand and strengthen my own strength, I will definitely not stop. What kind of bullshit is evolution? This is just a rhetoric. Definitely don't let him go on. We must unite, and fast. We must not repeat the mistakes of the fourth-level civilization. Many great demons spoke out one after another. The sound reverberated in the void. The entire void has never been so lively. And all of this stems from the fear of that monster. They are afraid. After all, this is a terrible existence that can spread terrible spores in the void and gradually eat them away. The opponent's body is even more like the sun, and that consciousness simply restrains them naturally. Who is not afraid to see this? However, their words did not receive a response from the heavyweights. The big demon is in the void, not the upper layer. The real appeal is the evil god. The evil gods rarely take into account the opinions of other creatures. Because in essence, they are an ecological structure layered on top of each other. 0. If many evil gods are severely injured, they will devour the big demon to recover quickly. Would you care about the idea of a mobile blood bank? Of course, the most important thing is that the ones who are currently suffering from this matter are all the lineage of the evil god Luke. The three evil gods, Yuan Shen, and Actos, were at odds with Luke. They can't help each other. From the perspective of the other two parties, this is currently a contradiction between Luke and the Holy Emperor. If they intervene rashly, aren't they being used as gunmen? In short, it is not yet the right time to intervene immediately. No matter how powerful the Holy Emperor is, it is still made of matter. After waking up from sleep, the whole world will go back to business as usual. There is a great demon who makes a speech about lying down. For a while, everyone was speechless. This also seems to be true. Their concept of time is weak, and the glorious time of life is too short. After 10 million years, nothing may change. It's different this time. The rise of the Holy Emperor is too fast, and the other party must have tasted the sweetness. I suspect he has acquired some key knowledge from the void. Soon, we will be facing the first ever invasion. Then what are you talking about? Run away. In the void, countless demons immediately dispersed. There is no distance here. Even if it is an evil god, it is impossible to locate them easily. In the depths of the void, watching the discussions of countless great demons, and listening to the information from the residual projection of the universe. The evil god Luke's face was extremely ugly. 0.0. His figure was almost twisted into a mess of threads. He thought that with the terrifying pressure of the evil god and the sense of terror he had created all the time, he could easily repel the opponent, and even purify the infection. But I didn't expect that the other party was different from what he collected last time. It made him step into the gate of hell, and he almost couldn't come back. The scene just now was really thrilling. When he thinks about it now, he only feels his consciousness go cold. Terrible biological weapons appeared directly and descended from other dimensions, so he couldn't detect it in advance. Fortunately, he reacted very quickly and decisively. Then, just hesitate for a moment. Hateful. At this moment, he heard the call from the descendants again. Immediately, his whole body was hairy. I regretted that I didn't make a decisive decision to use descendants just now. Chapter 530. The stars go out. The might of the evil god. 2 more. I didn't expect a low-energy descendant in the district to be able to cause trouble for me. The evil god Luke was suddenly furious. With this colleague, he also immediately became nervous and began to reflect on himself. Because the invasion has never been dealt with, various solutions have not been considered at all. The reaction itself was actually very late. This caused him to make several mistakes in just one confrontation. But the mistake had already been made, and there was nothing he could do. You can only be careful, try not to let the opponent locate him based on the big devil. Otherwise, the follow-up will definitely be another thrilling escape. Thinking of this, he said with a dignified expression through the connections. Give me back my descendants, and that's it for us. Facing a god who was as powerful as him, and even more dangerous, even he couldn't help but show some respect. But this dangerous person, he must get rid of. He was going to get rid of the hidden danger of the big demon, and immediately contact the 2 old things of Yuanshan. Together with the 3 evil gods, he can immediately entangle all the power of the void. Although their void is chaotic, but in terms of integrating power, it is much simpler than the universe. 30. Want to beat them all. A ruse never succeeds twice. The number of slave owners who are making wind and rain in the void has reached tens of thousands just because of this permanently extinct demon. This casualty is unprecedented in history, and the deaths of other void creatures are calculated in the hundreds of millions. She believed that as long as she clearly stated the stakes involved and carefully analyzed Chen Mo's strength, those two would have no reason not to agree. They will not understand the truth of the cold lips and teeth. Of course, the premise is that he must not conflict with Chen Mo in advance. If his strength is damaged, then he will be in jeopardy. In the entire void, the strength of the 3 evil gods has grown to the extreme, and if they want to go further, they must devour each other. It's almost impossible, but the appearance of Chen Mo is likely to break this balance. This is also the reason why he doesn't dare to confront toughness at all. But before getting this done, it is necessary to kill that descendant. Now he can feel that this descendant has been caught in that huge battleship. Completely under the control of the other party. Even, his induction is faintly visible. Obviously, if the other party has reasons, he can leave this dimension at any time. In this case, he will completely lose the initiative. Hee, if you want to go back to the big devil, you can. Chen Mo sat upright on the chief chair of Star Soul World, and his body burst into golden light. The whole looks like a golden throne. Appear immediately, proclaim publicly, acknowledge my dominion over the void, then lead the army and join the glorious evolution. You're dreaming. The evil god Luke was extremely angry. He felt humiliated. How long has it been since you felt this way? The other party communicated with him just to reject him viciously. He is the most ancient and great evil god. He didn't say anything about surrender, and he openly declared the rule of the other party. This one alone can make him lose face. He can't afford to lose this face. At this time, he is still one of the most gods in the void. He has the guts to refuse. In this case, the evil god Luke said coldly, "Are you slave masters preparing for a complete war with our void? Don't think that only the devourer of dimensions is a threat. As long as we want to, we can come to the visible universe. You can't shelter all creatures forever." Quote. Any intelligent body is a hotbed for us to come. Chen Mo couldn't help laughing when he heard this. I'm afraid the other party doesn't know, and he doesn't plan to keep the rest of the wisdom body at all. Except for his people, the rest are disloyal, and it is enough to exterminate them all. Then migrate all intelligent life to the astral world. The entire universe is empty, and the evil god has no medium to operate. At that time, it will become extremely difficult to descend into the universe. Moreover, without the source of knowledge, the void gradually becomes empty, and the strength of the evil gods will not continue to grow. The stagnant void, what can I use to fight him? It's lucky to have the devourer of dimensions. If there is no such threat, I have already dealt with you with all my strength. You don't really think that the mere void can stop me. Let me put it bluntly, if you don't surrender, the only end is to be completely destroyed by me. The void will merge into my teleportation network and become a key link in the teleportation of the universe. Chen Mo is telling the truth. Although void is powerful, but his characteristics perfectly restrain the opponent, corrode, and infect. He is better than this. Using knowledge for covert influence. He went straight to conscious isolation. Matter and consciousness are all isolated, and the connection is established through his huge star soul consciousness and neural network. With such a firewall, the other party can't even understand it. Arrogant, Luke snorted coldly. He didn't believe a word of the slave master. The 410 was born before he snored for as long as he dared to threaten him. How dare you say what to do with the void in the future? What a joke. However, the positioning that came from his descendants again and again made him very annoyed. He can block, but not all. This is a causal relationship. The other party didn't know what knowledge was used, and always felt that letting one's own person fall into the other party's hands would have very bad consequences. What's even more exasperating is that the other party is still howling nonstop, turning on the loudspeaker as if broadcasting to the entire void. Coward. Gave his face clean. If this continues, what appeal does he have in the void? Fearing that there are more demons, they will go to the other two. Shut up, he roared. The terrifying attack arrived at the dimensional spaceship in an instant. But it was blocked by the shield of the spaceship. But even so, the aroused energy shock resounded, terrifying plagiarism in the void. A wave of energy tide spills into the universe along the channel opened by the spaceship of the dimension. In an instant, a star was directly charged and extinguished. The fusion reaction is stopped immediately. With a roar of power, the entire star is extinguished. This is the power of the evil god. Chapter 531 Embarrassing the Evil God. No, I want to kill God. One more. This roar, let alone void. Civilizations with abilities can be observed in the universe. It's scary, so much so that the great demon, who was still howling, was suddenly too scared to make a sound. He feels cold all over now, and has a terrible feeling that his body is being replaced step by step. But even so, he forcibly held back howling. There is no other reason. Please, great Luke, please don't give up on me. Cthulhu Luke. He was speechless. This call for help was another broadcast across the void. It's even enlarged. This damn slave owner must have done it on purpose. Tell me, how can I let him go? The evil god Luke took a deep breath and said. Hearing this, Chen Mo couldn't help shaking his head. You still don't understand. Okay. The evil god Luke's whole body twisted immediately, and he began to release his power. Surrender or die. Do your daydreams, get out. The evil god Luke immediately shifted a position, and then left. He is not in the inklot. Because of the urgent need for the other party, the risk of his exposure is constantly increasing. He is very clear, relying on his own strength, it is very dangerous to fight against the Holy Emperor. But the next time we meet, it will be the time when the slave owners will be destroyed. The voice of the evil god Luke echoed in the void of no one. He had already decided that since the other party refused to let him go, it was clear that he wanted to use this connection to deal with him. In this case, he might as well just follow the plan. When the time comes, see if the other party dares to come over. As for the life and death of the big devil, he doesn't care at all. He has countless descendants like this, and he doesn't even know the name of that descendant just now. In short, although it is very embarrassing, it is countless times better than agreeing to Chen Mo's conditions. Moreover, even if he wanted to surrender, it was not that simple. The other two evil gods might appear immediately. But, if you can make reasonable use of this big devil, maybe it is really possible to set a trap and let the other two evil gods participate. When the time comes, kill the Holy Emperor directly. Thinking of this, the evil god Luke shifted his position again. For the next period of time, he will constantly shift his position to prevent being locked by that strange supreme weapon. However, just arrived at a brand new location. He was dumbfounded. Right in front of you is the huge planetary weapon. He ran directly into the front of others. The next moment, the terrifying gravity pulled him. At the same time, the entire space was strengthened, as if frozen. Massive spores grew rapidly, evacuating the energy into a vacuum, and he was isolated in a spherical area. Chen Mo couldn't help being a little surprised when he looked at his results. Because this is his first time using the ability of prophecy. The optical brain left by the Necronters plus the biological master brain gave him unprecedented computing power, so he could make rough predictions. Logically speaking, prophecies may not necessarily be accurate. But coupled with the connection between the big devil and the evil god Luke, it is quite accurate. There is a probability of about 60%. Not high, but when it comes to probability, Chen Mo is the most powerful star god ever. Strong will, distorting reality, unreasonable. This can increase the probability appropriately. So with good luck, he lay in ambush at the prophesied position in advance, and waited until an evil god crashed in. Your behavior is not directly proportional to your toughness. Die to me, Chen Mo sneered, and motioned to Oren, who was at the side, to make a move. Oran manipulated the dimensional spaceship and immediately entered the battlefield. The energy gushing out from the huge tentacles formed a lightsaber that shattered everything and slashed at the evil god Luke like a storm. Look down. Surrender to my master immediately. Let you see what is called the light of evolution. As he said that, Oran's mind moved, causing the dimensional spaceship to start releasing the halo. You really thought you could kill me? The evil god Luke looked horrified. This scene was completely unexpected to Luke. The Holy Emperor came so fast. And he thought that the most he could do was to make trouble for him by ambushing him. Just like when he kept entangled with other fourth-level civilizations back then, it all relied on slow erosion. Unexpectedly, as soon as the opponent came up, he seemed to use all his strength to kill him. It's crazy. Is this the madness in consciousness of a rapidly rising civilization? Really overconfident. You know, he is the void god. This is his home field. Although he felt pressured, he didn't think he would be easily caught by the opponent. As for death, that is absolutely impossible. If he can't beat it, he can't leave. Even in the most terrifying era of the void struggle and the establishment of the three gods, he still stands firm. He didn't believe that just after the void was invaded, he couldn't do it. No, the official invasion hasn't even started yet. Many great demons and even evil gods are still sleeping. I am the giant of the evil god. Holds the basic energy of the void, as well as endless knowledge. Just relying on this knowledge, I can leverage infinite power. Don't waste your energy. The evil god Luke is very confident. What he feels really tricky now is the other two old guys. Those two, just wait for him to get hurt. He must not lose too much. It is the best not to fight. Chapter 532, Invading the Void. Hunt the evil gods. 2 more. Go away. The evil god Luke snorted coldly. The next moment, others had already appeared in other places. A large number of void creatures under his control swarmed up and began to attack the dimension spaceship. Luke didn't have the idea of really desperate. His first instinct was to go. Don't go head to head with Chen Mo. Desperate is the most worthless. But soon, he found that things were not that simple. As he moved, the dimensional spaceship followed. Oops. He couldn't help but thump in his heart. The opponent's method of blocking him was far more advanced than he thought. Moreover, it can be seen from this that the Holy Emperor has really coveted the void for a long time, and he actually knows a lot of the laws of space here. It would take a lot of time to completely break away from the opponent's blockade. The simplest and rude way is to head with that big spaceship and let the opponent retreat. But in this case, his strength must be damaged, and it may even allow the Holy Emperor to contact the other two evil gods conditionally. A terrifying ring of light shines, which contains a strange power, and the swept area is being crazily infected. The void creature he sent out 977 was completely delivering food to the other party. It can be seen that the more the opponent kills, the higher the damage itself seems to be. It's unbelievable. And the Holy Emperor, this top genius from among the slave owners, not only is the light of his own will constantly growing, he seems to be constantly investing other weapons. Some kind of strange weapon he didn't know about. Even, the kind of dimension gun used in the broken world was also taken out. What's more, the opponent still has time to choose different types of void creatures, even more powerful green-skinned life forms, and start trying to fight directly in the void. They are very fanatical, and they look like they are not afraid of death at all. The evil god Luke was furious. What is he doing here? A new weapon testing ground. He has become a target. The speed at which slave owners kill ordinary void creatures is simply the speed of light. It seems that the crowd tactics have no effect. The next moment, the infectious force field and countless tentacles that activated the magic judgment came over. Don't even think about running away, it's pointless. Try the sword. Oran held up her hands, and she manipulated the weapons on the dimensional spaceship. It's a pity that this is not the universe, otherwise, using the evolution number directly would be enough to severely damage the opponent. Here, in fact, the combat power of Holy Terra's Legion has been suppressed a lot. Although this kind of suppression is rapidly weakening with the ability to adapt to the terrifying environment, it is completely incomparable with the universe. Damn it. Looking at the oppressive huge spaceship, the evil god Luke was very annoyed. If he knew what Alan was thinking at this time, he would probably scold her even more. Wait, you listen to me. Boom. There was no hesitation at all. The star-level weapon controlled by Orin directly slashed at it. A battle that caused a sensation in the two worlds broke out. FK. The dimensional ship disappeared, but it didn't reappear. An anomaly has been observed in the void. Is this a fight? As soon as the voice fell, boom. There was an energy tidal overflow, and the entire star area was turned into violent energy. Now, everyone was stunned. There is no doubt that this is really playing up. And it hits big. It seems that the entire void has been stirred up. So much so that a star god with a little bit of strength can fall short of this abnormality. This scene made everyone feel unreal. It's unbelievable. After living for so long, it's the first time I've seen the void stir up energy tides. It turned out to be this scene. Haha, brothers of Holy Terra, you can access DAC, the astral network, and watch the battle in the void. Someone suddenly shouted. Hiss. It's really a fight, it's a war, and God. It's a good thing they didn't fight in our universe. Otherwise, with this terrible lethality and unscrupulous destruction, all the planets would be lost. It's not a pity for a living body to die, but the formation of a planet, and if it is a living planet, is not easy. This battle is definitely the first time in history we actually hit the void. It's nothing. The most important thing is, I want to know, will the evil god bleed? As soon as these words came out, everyone's blood surged up. Some people even gritted their teeth, and the light of hatred flashed in their eyes. Don't evil gods die? But if it is in the void, the Holy Emperor must have a solution, right? Can a creature that can be killed still be called an evil god? Our ultimate goal is to control the entire universe. According to the consciousness of the Holy Emperor, we must concentrate all our power to fight against subsequent natural disasters. The Eater of Dimensions. Honestly speaking, this is the first time I've seen such a fierce star god. The Holy Emperor really does things neatly. It's fine if he doesn't make a move. Once he makes a move, it will be a thunderous blow. He will never give the enemy a chance to deal with it. I suspect that this time, it is definitely not as simple as teaching the evil god a lesson. Do you still remember the amazing achievements of His Royal Highness the Holy Emperor? Every time, it almost started with an inconspicuous battle. Quote. Yes, as long as the battle starts, the back will get bigger and bigger. It's just too powerful. On the Star Soul World Network, everyone is talking about it. At the same time, most of everyone's resistance to the Holy Emperor disappeared. After all, someone said that he will be your only boss in the future. Even in a world where the strong are always respected, there is still some uneasiness in my heart. But for now, slowly adore. The Holy Emperor is really too powerful. It can be seen that his internal methods are actually very gentle. According to this violent temper against the evil god, it is unbelievable that during the internal transformation of the Star Soul world, there is no bloodshed. Our allegiance to the Holy Emperor is a very wise choice. Who else is against it now? Among the fourth-level civilizations, the morale of the surrender faction is very strong. Before Chen Mo ordered them to be arranged, they took the initiative to start self-reform, and submitted a proposal to merge into the astral world. Fortunately, this evil god is timid. That's right, if you practice in the Star Soul world, not to mention the world itself, your small body won't be able to handle it at all. As long as the place is rubbed by the aftermath of the battle, it will be turned into a dead zone. Let's watch it carefully. This is one of the few shots made by the Holy Emperor. How much you can learn from it depends on luck. For a moment, all the stars Shendu gathered their spirits. Everyone feels very lucky. Chapter 533 Scourge Legion. One more. Under the leadership of the Holy Emperor, the Golden Age is coming. Some star gods were excited. The scene in front of me is even more precious. If it wasn't for the protection of the Holy Emperor, even in the Star Soul world, they would not have had the chance to witness such a terrifying battle with their own eyes. Even face the evil god directly. This was absolutely unimaginable before. In terms of consciousness protection, the strength of the Holy Terra system is much higher than that of the Star Soul world, and also higher than any civilization. Otherwise, many people would have to be influenced by the evil god. It is enough to have a profound impact on the entire universe if the base of the fourth-level civilization cooperates with the big demons to pass. But amidst the series of earth-shattering operations of the Holy Emperor, this incident, even, failed to be photographed on the front page. In the future, it can only be recorded as a small matter in history. But you must know that every great demon is compared to their star gods. It's all pretty scary, not to mention the evil gods. One look, looking directly at the other person, may not talk for the rest of your life. The best result is to live a lifetime safely under the supervision of the trial court. I don't know what the final outcome of this battle will be. A star god said excitedly. You still need to ask. It must be our Holy Emperor who wins. The only question is, a big win, a medium win, or a small win. The strength of the Holy Emperor has stabilized the heretic god, and it can be seen that the heretic god is trying to avoid fighting. I don't know what he is taking into account, but it is obvious that he is afraid. If this evil god dies here, it will be a lot of fun. Death. This should be impossible. This kind of thing has never happened in history, and the name of this evil god is too big. He has made too many arrangements in the entire universe. Even if it is death, it is estimated that it will be very difficult. Come back quickly. Resurrection is resurrection. If you can kill him once, you won't be afraid of the second time. I think the essence of the evil god is still a creature of the void, and we cannot escape this limitation. We only need to occupy the void, just like occupying other planets, relying on the life born on the planet. Surrender or perish. What kind of power can become the lord of the void like eroding the planet? There should be a way. Theoretically, the probability is infinitely close to zero. Everyone was discussing. At this moment, in the void, the spore prison that had been gradually closed was reduced to ashes in an instant, and the energy sword of the Dimension spacecraft was also forcibly resisted. What's more, the next moment, because he couldn't bear the impact, the magic judgment directly exploded and turned into a little bit of starlight. Emptiness is not a place where you can run wild. Holy Emperor, you are courting death. A loud voice sounded. The next moment, the darkness that had been burned to ashes by Chen Mo rushed over like a tide. Countless void creatures surged within it. Endless. The entire void seemed to be in turmoil. Who woke me up? Roar. The breath of flesh and blood. Humanity. Huge figures appeared one after another, like densely packed planets, whose volume was so huge that it could no longer be described in words. These invisible energy life forms are crowded together, forming a terrifying vortex, looking down on the dimensional spaceship from above. A destructive black tornado storm on the internet. Occasionally, countless densely packed eyes flashed through it, which made people shudder. These, all are big devils. Among them, there are even many evil gods. Thousands of evil gods. Billions of void creatures. The evil god Luke issued his call and summoned all his descendants. About 1/3 of the power of the void gathers here. Their appearance instantly stabilized the situation. At the same time, the entire Star Soul world was stunned. So many powerful demons. Every appearance in the miscellaneous universe is enough to set off a natural disaster of demon invasion. 0 for flowers. Lilia, a scholar of the Great Library, shrank her pupils, suddenly remembered some ancient records, and said, "It's the Scourge. It is rumored that the most powerful combat force under the command of the evil gods, and the army commanders among them are all evil gods, because there are countless demons. The number is almost endless, and their density is very large, so they can give full play to their advantages. There is no concept of distance in the void. If they attack together, not to mention memorizing, it's just these thousands of evil gods." Oops. For a moment, she couldn't help but tense up. Not only her, many knowledgeable star gods also noticed that this time, it was really bad. I didn't expect the situation to turn around so quickly. Everyone felt slapped in the face. Of course, everyone is more nervous. It is not an exaggeration to say that this is a battle of fate in the Star Soul world. After winning, everyone followed suit. If they lose, not only will the Holy Emperor fall, but their lives will also be lost. Under the command of the Holy Emperor, there is only one dimensional spaceship that can go to the void to fight. Even if it can hold several stars, it is extremely lacking in the number of unprepared combat power at the beginning. The number of demons is hundreds of billions of times that of the Legion of Gods. Once trapped in the void, not only will the dimensional spaceship suffer, but if the spaceship falls into the hands of the void, the entire universe will. Speaking of this, everyone was shocked. Is this the real goal of the enemy? Look, Holy Terra is also making big moves. They are mobilizing the Legion of the Gods. The Ice Queen, the Eternal Lord and other counselors are all assembled. The Ice Queen took out her artifact. She also summoned the top 1,000 powerful star gods. All of a sudden, everyone knew that things were getting worse. If we don't immediately find a way to support the Holy Emperor, then the dimensional spaceship may really fall into the hands of the enemy. And this, absolutely disastrous mouth. Chapter 534 The battle expands. Crowd tactics. Chen Mo laughed. 2 more. Meaningless. Some MPs were speechless for a moment. Because if they can all enter the void, what is the use now? Everyone has already acted. The biggest problem now is that both sides have almost insurmountable obstacles. You can see it, but you can't hit it. It's not that simple to get in and out of the void in here. Currently known to be able to enter and exit at will is the dimensional spaceship. Owner, how do we deal with this battle? Oren's beautiful eyes were full of excitement. She looked at Chen Mo, wanting permission for the next step. This time it was definitely an accident. Originally thought that the ones who should appear would be the other 2 evil gods. After all, if this is the case, it will be easier to mobilize. But I didn't expect that it was not the second company of evil gods, but thousands of them. The Greenskin Legion became more fanatical. 160, the more enemies there were, the happier they were. This time it's called war. This time the scale is not unprecedented, but absolutely wonderful. At this time, Chen Mo's expression was slightly serious. After all, with what he guessed, there is some way out. Moreover, the other 2 evil gods have been watching and not appearing. This step alone makes him a little bit reluctant to let go. Always be ready to run. After all, the other party is so calm. It's also impossible for him to go all out. This is also the first time, facing so many enemies with an overwhelming numerical advantage. Truly overwhelming. Powerful void creatures filled every inch of space around the dimensional spaceship. However, Chen Mo didn't want to back down. Instead, he wondered if he could take advantage of this opportunity to have an intense, in-depth communication with the void creatures first. Prepare for the full-scale invasion of the void in the future. After all, Chen Mo has always been indifferent to the consumption of battles. Quantity is not necessarily his advantage, but he has an absolute advantage in fighting consumption. Now here is the void. These demons, void creatures, have not yet died on a large scale. I have never felt the feeling of corpses all over the field. So just be positive now. I just don't know if they can still be so fanatical next time. With his strength, as long as the other powerful evil gods don't come, he can maintain the dimensional spaceship. At that time, it will essentially be a war of attrition. As for whether the dimension spaceship will be taken away, this is simply not possible. Because everyone thinks that this is some kind of weapon, or a little more imaginative, at most thinks that it is a living weapon. But everyone doesn't know that this is essentially just a large mushroom. Same with his countless mushroom races. It is impossible to cut off the connection with him. Even if he opened up all the defenses and allowed the evil gods to invade, he would not lose any control over the dimensional spaceship. As for himself, let alone, he can leave at any time. The dimensional spaceship itself does not directly open the passage between the universe and the void. This is his unique space knowledge. The evil god will not do this. They are just rich, but in parsing, creating knowledge, and divine terra are not in the same dimension at all. So Chenmo is not worried at all in the short term, the back road will be cut off. In this case, continue fighting. However, we shrink the front line and defend around the dimensional spaceship. It's best to consume the other party's hundreds of millions of void creatures. At the same time, see if there is a chance to kill an evil god, so maybe you can get a new opportunity to evolve. In that case, our strength will increase greatly, and our restraint against void creatures will be even stronger. Use war to support war, constantly consume, and take the opportunity to devour evolution. This is Chenmo's next battle strategy. The only grievance, I am afraid, is the big devil who is screaming inside the dimension spaceship. The other party was locked here, and Chenmo beat him every time, making him scream, so as to stimulate the evil god Luke outside to give him a little more strength. Haha. Hope the effect can last longer. Chenmo couldn't help but smile. From beforehand to the present, it was completely a murder caused by a big devil. The big devil naturally thought of this. Looking at the overwhelming void demons attacking here, the big demon itself is a little empty. On the one hand, he definitely hoped that the slave owner would be torn apart. On the other hand, he felt that he had made the evil god Luke so embarrassing, and even suffered a heavy loss. What will happen to me? He doesn't even need to think about it. As for many star gods who have already joined Chenmo's camp, they are very anxious and want to join the battle. No matter what the final situation is, anyway, the worst will not be worse than Chenmo's defeat. At the same time, many people have persuaded them to temporarily retreat the dimension spaceship. 0. Too risky and unnecessary. As long as the follow-up technology is more mature, you can have fun with the void. This is the true thinking of most star gods. After all, seek stability. There is no need to assemble the legion of the gods. What should everyone do? Completely occupy the entire universe. Chenmo directly ignored the concerns of many congressmen, but instead issued the first order after becoming chief. Everyone joins in the fun. This is what he really thinks in his heart. For a moment, many people in the entire star soul world were dumbfounded. The star gods breathed a sigh of relief. Everyone thought that it seemed that Chenmo would retreat. It's fine if you don't die. The Ice Queen also breathed a sigh of relief. Only a few star gods like Lu Ru and Luo Bing, who had studied Chenmo deeply, showed strange expressions. This is not like Chenmo's style. Could it be that, after becoming the chief, the responsibility is great, and he dare not take the risk of missing it? However, Chenmo ignored these speculations. With a thought, he said to Irene, who was far away in the Holy Terra. The plan remains unchanged, and we will go all out to build the Gate of the Void. However, the entire broken world that houses the Void Gate, the Dimension Gun, can be slowed down a bit, and some changes will be made in the future. Chenmo has a hunch that in terms of space, his exclusive race may have further evolution. Obey. Aaron nodded excitedly at 4.8. Sure enough, everything is calculated by the omnipotent master. After making plans, Chenmo glanced at the Ice Queen. To his surprise, the first one organized and responded extremely quickly. Very nice. As an ally, it can be said that the Ice Queen Brawny is quite reliable. Most of the star gods also immediately took action under the leadership of the Ice Queen. This warmed Chenmo's heart. If he continues to maintain this state, the entire star soul world will only become stronger in his hands. The performance of the Eternal Lord just now was also very good. Having said that, this guy has been supporting him in a low-key way. He also had some mysterious news about the Necrons. Go back and talk to him. Chenmo secretly thought in his heart. Chapter 535 Surprise. It turns out that this is the secret to becoming an evil god. One more. Seeing that the battle broke out directly, and the spaceship of the slave owners has no sense of retreat at all. The evil god Luke couldn't help but thumped in his heart. This was the last result he wanted to see. He is not a fool, and by the same token, the Holy Emperor who can make him feel so uncomfortable is certainly not a fool. In this case, then it can only be that the other party finds it profitable. Or, do you want to touch him first? But he can't stand it. The other two goddamn evil gods have not moved yet. The more this is the case, the more he wants to preserve his strength. Let your hands go up and fight. This is his current thinking. In fact, instead of retreating, Chenmo acted like resisting to the end and started to build weapons on a large scale, which shocked everyone. Does it engage in tower defense? Can building so many weapons be useful? Many evil gods were also dumbfounded. They all thought that in this wave, they had to seize the time and attack quickly, otherwise they would not be able to get any bargains. Unexpectedly, with the support of the terrifying firepower and shields of the Dimension spacecraft, a large number of flesh and blood would dare to fight them head-on. What surprised them even more was that they actually resisted it 30% of the time. The main thing is that they resurrect fairly quickly. Therefore, the defense line composed of flesh and blood basically remained unchanged. This kind of déjà vu scene made the eyelids of many evil gods twitch. Of course, the void creatures don't understand this. They are stimulated by the fanatical war atmosphere, they are attacking frantically, and then they are directly crushed into energy under the terrifying weapons. Even, some of the void creatures were directly absorbed by the devouring tentacles, transformed into surging energy, and charged into ghost cannons and various high-energy weapons. Good start. Chenmo couldn't help but feel excited when he watched the fierce battle in an instant. However, this joy did not last long. When the evil god Luke saw the fight, he turned his head and started running. With the help of thousands of other evil gods and a large number of great demons, he ran away directly. As for void creatures, he didn't care at all. Seeing the evil god who summoned himself and others ran away. The massive demons and void creatures that had already gathered naturally scattered like birds and beasts. Only in the front row, the void creatures who were aroused to fight, have not yet reacted. But soon, because there was no support, they were wiped out. After this wave, Chenmo prostituted a lot of void creature data for free, but not all of them were in place. Some of the most critical and important goals all ran away in groups. This scene was unexpected by Chenmo. Looking at the big devil who would rather get a few big holes in his butt than run away, Chenmo was speechless for a while. Fight. You are not very brave. Don't run. Why don't you fight? Pity. For the first time, Chenmo discovered that the most difficult enemy to deal with was not a powerful enemy, but one that could not be defeated and ran away decisively. This is the first time he has seen such a cowardly evil god. Could it be that this is the secret to becoming the leader of the evil god? In Star Soul World, everyone was stunned. What's the situation? Isn't the Holy Emperor preparing to retreat? In the end, he stood up a little bit, and the evil god ran away without saying a word of cruelty. Ran. Someone watched all this in bewilderment. Be careful, maybe it's playing hard to get. Meet a fart. Hurry up. Some people got excited and had all the words, but the eagerness to pursue was almost overflowing the internet. All have watched a massive, unprecedented battle. However, the ending turned out to be like this. The Holy Emperor is really powerful. That's right, I didn't expect the evil god to entangle so many people, and I didn't dare to confront him head-on. 55% attention to the laws of the world, this strength. Do you think I'm joking with you? What if it exceeds 90%? I don't even dare to think how powerful that is. Thinking is greater than gathering almost all the power of the Star Soul world. At that time, a single thought might be able to reverse the void and burn all the void creatures inside to death. Everyone started talking. The strength of the Holy Emperor, in the hearts of everyone, has once again been raised to a higher level. Believe even deeper. Actually, it's not just them. In the void, there are rumors about the mighty power of the Holy Emperor, Luke, one of the three evil gods, entangled with the billion trillion legion, and dare not head on. The facts are right in front of us. Master Luke doesn't dare, how can we rush? Everyone wait to die. Some evil gods said in despair. In his haste to retreat, he witnessed countless void creatures directly perish under the terrifying firepower of the enemy. All the energy structures were rewarded, the consciousness circuits were blown into basic light particles, and even the disturbance of consciousness was destroyed by a kind of the strange ring device dispelled. It's really dead. This situation really won't be revived again. Sad. I originally thought that there were very few slave owners in this wave. The whole universe is ours. I didn't expect the ending to be that RPS. There are evil gods whispering. Almost all the big devils and above have this idea. They are all contempt for the cosmic creatures, and they don't pay attention to them at all. I have never personally suffered 380 threats of death. At this moment, dissatisfaction with Luke rose in my heart, and at the same time, I also had a little fear of the Holy Emperor. Originally, their idea was to obtain a dimensional spaceship. Then they are kings of both worlds. Enjoy endless sensory stimulation. But the universe is rich in material, that enjoyment is simply. But the cold reality now is that they don't have that strength. Of course, there are also clever evil gods who are aware of the reasons behind it. Perhaps the enemy is not outside, but inside. A strong fortress is often breached from within. The Holy Emperor is a fart, the real threat comes from. Speaking of this, he felt a chill in his heart and stopped immediately. Many evil gods also fell silent. They all looked at each other and secretly communicated. But even if this is the case, the knowledge mastered by the Holy Emperor is definitely not simple. Knowledge. I think it's some kind of secret. Some evil gods said greedily. All the evil Shendu are very eager to know the secret of why the Holy Emperor can create such a dimension-defying spaceship, and why he is so powerful. If you can occupy the body of the Holy Emperor and replace it. Think of this possibility. Even the most indifferent evil god can't help but feel manic. Chapter 536 Yuenshin. Sneak attack. Do not. It was unexpected home delivery. 2 more. In the void, the battle is almost completely over. The dimensional spaceship paused for a while before preparing to retreat. It doesn't make any sense to stay here any longer. It was originally planned to hunt the evil god Luke, but the other party ran away, and now things have become so big. The opponent still chose to run away. If you continue, it is nothing more than repeating what you just did. It is impossible to continue to get any benefits without wasting time. No matter how many ordinary void creatures are killed now, it is meaningless. Only evil gods can help Chen Mo get the chance to evolve. But an evil god is much more powerful than a great demon, and each one, under the leadership of the evil god Luke, is a good escapee. Damn Holy Emperor, you really thought you could kill me. The evil god Luke has been distorted into a bunch of eyeballs, each of which emits a ferocious gaze. The terrifying breath can be felt throughout the void. Up to now, the evil god Luke has lost all face. He just wanted to find some factories as soon as possible. At the same time, he still communicated with the other 2 evil gods. I believe that after sending a wave of void creatures just now, the other 2 should be able to see clearly, right? The lips are dead and the teeth are cold. Let's hope they haven't been dazzled by the fleeting possible benefits. Bold. When will organic worms be accommodated in the void? Give me death. Suddenly, a terrifying circular black hole appeared. Just one breath and one breath, Yinwang's green skin was swallowed into the master. The dimensional spaceship has a defense gap. There is a powerful Yuenshin appeared. Cthulhu Luke, why are you still hesitating? Attack. Hearing this, Luke was ecstatic in his heart. The old guy did it. With him around, 2 against 1 is not easy, but it is definitely not difficult to kill the Holy Emperor. Attack. Without the slightest hesitation, he immediately ordered his Scourge Legion to attack. Terrible darkness surged in and immediately submerged the Dimension spacecraft inside. Yuenshin came prepared, and after seeing that the attack was effective, he immediately expanded his body, and pulled the Dimension spaceship into the huge black hole-like space. At the same time, a large number of big demons around, accidentally, also fell into it. For a while, the wailing continued. But Yuenshin has no intention of stopping. This is an appetizer. Luke was vomiting blood with anger. Emotional guy is here to prostitute food. But he couldn't say anything yet. Oops, the dimensional ship can't let him get back. Quote. The evil god Luke was not an idiot either. He rushed up immediately, wanting to get a share of the action. But the next moment, he doesn't have to worry. Because of the appearance of the red light, the dimensional spaceship seemed to be coated with a layer of gray color, and it actually ran to other dimensions. Everyone can see it, but it cannot be attacked. At this time, what remains in the void is only the projection of one side of the spaceship. Chen Mo's reaction speed is at the speed of light, and there are even a lot of pre-predicted plans. That is to say, during the battle, Chen Mo's reaction sometimes has to be predicted. That is to say, the reaction speed is directly reduced to 0 seconds, or even -1 second. Prediction in advance. So it seems like a sudden attack, but for Chen Mo, it is almost impossible for the dimensional spaceship that is ready at any time to be attacked. As for the green skins who remained in the void, they all died instantly. Their consciousness was not here in the first place, and now that the dimensional spacecraft left, they lost the signal connection and naturally dropped the line one after another. Of course, there are still a large number of spores, which are multiplying rapidly and spreading in the void. There is no distance limit in the void. The spores therefore spread extremely quickly. Group by group, and then spread. Even if it is an evil god, it is difficult to completely clean it up. But Chen Mo can't rely on them to get things done. After all, they are like demons projected into the universe. They can harass, but when they grow to a certain level, they will be eliminated by the big demons who come over. Pity. Seeing this scene, among the three evil gods, the oldest one, Yuenshin, couldn't help whispering. If he could succeed just now, then he will have the final say on the entire universe. This technology that can travel between different spaces, even the universe, is exactly what he is looking for. After all, he has lived in this void for too long. The boundless void, that's just what others think. In his view, this place is a prison. Of course, he also knows about the Dimension Devourer, and this matter has spread widely. To deal with this kind of terrifying extraterrestrial beings, the dimensional spaceship is a very good means. Of course, in addition to this main goal, he also has some secondary goals. For example, weaken Luke, and find ways to eat some big demons and evil gods. These are great supplements, but unfortunately, neither goal was considered a success. Whispering, he saw the crimson moon that had already started to dim, and actually gradually solidified again. The other party was. In an instant, his pupils shrank twice. Backquote interesting. He couldn't help but sneer. The other party feels that it was not exciting enough. Do you want to do it again? Of course, say so. In his heart, he felt a sigh. He had only recently heard of the title of the Holy Emperor. When he woke up last time, even the slave owner was not very famous. But this time, the slave owners have controlled almost the entire universe, and among them, a king was born. What's even more outrageous is that, after his careful investigation, it was confirmed that it took less than 4 months for this lump of carbohydrates, who were inferior to ants, to grow up to the point where he can command the wind and rain and control the fate of the universe. What is this concept? What's even more outrageous is that he, Zhao Zhao, calculated last time that if the other party appeared, he could easily handle it. If it wasn't for the other party not leaving the main planet, he would have killed him a long time ago. But now, only a few days have passed, the other party has been able to calmly escape from his surprise attack. Even if you run away, you dare to come back again. This growth rate shocked him. And jealousy. Void is the lack of substance and stimulation of diversity, otherwise, his strength must have grown stronger than the opponent. What the hell is wrong with the other party? The future of the entire universe also advances according to his will. Looking at the dimensional spaceship that has become real again, Yuenshin said coldly. Well done, let's have fun again. It is good. Chen Mo looked at the many evil gods who had gathered together because of the courage of the two gods, and his eyes could not help but brighten. How could this be an unexpected sneak attack? What an unexpected home delivery. Chapter 537 Classic Reenactment. Yuenshin who runs at the speed of light. One more. Hearing Chen Mo's crisp, good word, Yuenshin couldn't help being taken aback. Then he sneered, and the anger was burning. How crazy. It is indeed the first creature capable of challenging the void in millions of years. Dare to face the two great evil gods. You know, when the two of them are combined, their strength is much higher than that of the other. The surprise attack just now almost succeeded. The other party doesn't know how to write dead characters at all. Very good. Yuenshin's voice shook the void, and his countless family members and descendants woke up one after another. He is about to summon his powerful army. The energy storm stirred together can sweep the entire void. This is fatal to living things. Then let you see how terrifying the power we possess is. Your so-called genes and evolution are not worth mentioning in front of our mighty power. Garbage knowledge. Keep fighting, he doesn't care. Now, taking advantage of Chen Mo being so rampant, he happened to press Luke's head, forcing him to continue fighting. As for his people, what a joke, it is not normal that it takes some time to summon the subordinates. 710 in short, he will never surrender until the last warrior of the scourge falls. His abacus is clanging. However, the next scene left him in a daze. Many void creatures are being massacred. It's useless to rush up like a tide. Inside the opponent's dimensional spaceship, there seemed to be countless greenskins, and if one died, one would come out alive. Of course, he can try to attack. As long as he has the right opportunity to defeat the opponent's spaceship, it's not a big problem. Just team up with Luke. Wait. What is this? Yuenshin is a very careful, rare evil god who has studied consciousness quite well. It is also because of this that he relies on his powerful observation ability. I quickly noticed that there was a very strange phenomenon. That is, no consciousness dissipates. The fear of death, howling. None at all. For a moment, he stopped preparing to attack. Immediately vigilant, observe carefully. He found a disgusting green-skinned creature who was used to yelling DACB and using loud weapons, and he was obviously killed. But among the green skins that came out after a while, there was one that perfectly fit all these characteristics. This discovery made his hair stand on end. If it was one, it might have been an accident. After all, the universe is so big that there are no surprises. But 2, 3, even more. Can it be so similar? The only explanation is that the other party is using some kind of technology to keep bringing these green skins back to life. They don't really die, as they have always been, projected into the universe. As soon as this thought came to him, he couldn't hold back anymore. Something called fear emerged in his heart. How did it work? Luke, this trash, has been fighting for so long, didn't he notice this? Waste. He couldn't help but want to rush over and tear the opponent directly. This was discovered too late. He intuitively believed that there was some kind of mysterious connection between this and the opponent's continuous strength. But he has too little contact with this type of knowledge, and the entire universe doesn't have much knowledge of materialism. It's hard to find a way to cope. The more he thought about it, the more nervous he became. Withdraw. He made up his mind immediately. After speaking, he ran away without looking back. Even more agile than Luke not long ago. Since they do not understand, the first and foremost solution at present is to disengage. Yuenshin knew very well that as soon as he left, Luke, a cowardly waste, would not stay even a second longer. On the other side, Luke was heartbroken watching his subordinates continue to die. After all, it is different from before. This time he died, but he really died. So many of the same kind are dying out quickly, even he has never seen it before. It would inevitably make him angry. However, before he could attack, Yuenshin on the other side dropped a word and ran away. Yes, run away. This scene directly made others look stupid. Kidding me. In an instant, he understood. This BD, this is definitely playing tricks on him. Let his people go up to die on purpose. It's unbelievable. At this time, the lips are dead and the teeth are cold. He didn't have time to think about it, and while cursing, he also ran away quickly. What seems like a long time is actually just a moment. For a moment, the Scourge Corps swarming up were dumbfounded. The evil god who reacted quickly exploded immediately, scattering like birds and beasts. The ones who were charging ahead were hitting, and suddenly found that there was no one behind. The same scene, less than an hour later, was staged again. Classic remake. This scene stunned everyone who was watching the battle. Many people laughed directly. Good guy, there is a full high-end combat power, the top power has doubled, and it just makes the evil gods tougher for a few minutes. Haha, 3 minutes and 45 seconds to be exact. I'm so stupid. The two evil gods, one by one, were all scared away. The speed of light hits the face. I just want to know now, how strong is the Holy Emperor? The evil god must have noticed details that we didn't. That's a must. Masters fight, the details are the devil. It can be seen from this that although the evil gods are powerful, they are still far behind the Holy Emperor. In the blink of an eye, I saw two evil gods, and they were both beaten in the face by the speed of light. It's really a witness to history. I said this is our era. The Holy Emperor didn't say a single ruthless word, because it's fishy. Obviously, we have a trump card on our side. Even if the two evil gods face off, they won't be able to gain an advantage. In order to avoid losing face, it is wise to run away now. For this analysis, many stars Shendu agreed. After all, why run if you can win? However, if the subordinates go up to die and consume a wave, don't they know the enemy better? Why not continue? This point, many star gods can't figure it out. Just looking at the panicked look of the void creatures, you can tell that they can't figure it out either. The current situation is quite weird. Chapter 538 Pilgrimage. Open the Golden Age. One more. Another farce. There are evil gods not only lamenting. Not to mention those big demons who died tragically, some evil gods who didn't have time to run away were in trouble. It's not bad to rant like that. Some of them were basically swearing, and they almost didn't mention their names. The evil god Luke, who was already safe, was about to go mad with anger. He felt that if he had lungs, he would explode immediately. Although he left safely, but not happy at all. Thought he was scared away by Chen Mo again. Again. Just like a clown. And he was played by Yuenshin. And all of this is due to the insidious and cunning Yuenshin. That's right. And his stupid descendant who is simply a pile of scum. If it wasn't for him, how could the evil god who is so powerful and feared by everyone suddenly become so restless? Today's experience can be said to be the day when he has the most emotional ups and downs, the most fear, and the most humiliating day. The evil god Luke never thought about it. He was full of confidence. As a bridgehead, he directly attacked the universe. It should have been a very simple matter. As a result, all the fourth-level civilizations turned against him, and his opponents kept getting stronger. Capsized in the gutter. Just downright unlucky. This would be a stain in his life that was ridiculed by others. Unless in the next battle, he can kill the Holy Emperor with his own hands and completely destroy the civilization of slave owners, otherwise, he will definitely not be able to swallow this breath. Okay, this is not your business alone. Don't say I didn't remind you. Hurry up and disperse all the subordinates. The more people die, the more passive we will be. At this time, Yuenshin's voice came. Hearing this, Luke said coldly, "Do I need you to teach me how to do things? Take care of yourself, you unreliable waste." He didn't hide his anger at all. Give him some more time. With his strength, he thinks he can swallow the old thing Yuenshin alive. What else can this guy do but rely on some sneaky tricks? Hearing this, Yuenshin gritted his teeth with anger. Who is the trash? This dog thing is really more than successful. If there are such wastes in the void, failure is probably right in front of us. Hee hee. But this time, it happened to be a big cleansing. Too much garbage had been accumulated in the void. But for now, solidarity is the most important thing. He transmitted all the information he had obtained to the evil god Luke. For a while, the cursing Luke stopped talking. Instead, there was a look of shock. I see. The opponent's ability is really terrifying. We must unite. He spoke directly. Okay. Yuenshin nodded and said, "This is also my idea. I sent the message to that guy too. We will wake up all the legions later. This time, we must kill with one blow." They all understand at this moment that the Holy Emperor who cannot be defeated once means that he will never be defeated. However, just as the two were discussing with each other, their confidence gradually increased. A bad news came. That is, an evil god was caught before he could escape in time. HMPH. Trash. Luke suddenly yelled, but he felt that he couldn't do anything, and for a while, he was powerless and furious. Oops. The opponent has a bigger advantage now. Compared to Luke, Yuenshin was directly shocked. The evil god is not so easy to catch. The other party must have been prepared. In other words, from the beginning, the other party had this idea. This, in turn, verified his speculation about these minions of the Holy Emperor. Undead Legion, he whispered. Luke on the side was stunned by the cold tone. I couldn't help becoming more irritable. This evil god is also his descendant. At this time, in the entire void, there is already a chorus of 2 people. Who the hell asked him to save lives? If the trouble continues like this, he doesn't have to wait for the decisive battle, he can directly make trouble for these wastes. A somewhat regrettable battle. Victorious, but not quite victorious. The elf Queen Ash couldn't help but said with a smile. At the same time, Oran on the dimensional spaceship breathed a sigh of relief. She was under a lot of pressure in this battle. It is equivalent to confronting the evil god's malice. If she didn't know that the light of the great masters will shines here, she might tremble. It's not about courage, but it comes from the deep instinct of fear. It seems to be a fear inherited from the source. It has been too long for the evil gods to terrorize this world. But today, for the first time, the master hit the opponent hard. What's even more exciting is that he actually caught an evil god. This was completely unimaginable before. 0 for flowers. But now, the opponent is in the prison inside the dimensional spaceship, and can only howl. Being rubbed at will by the master's powerful consciousness, he was so frightened that he shivered. But I'm still not strong enough. Thinking of this, Oran couldn't help but look at Chen Mo. If she is strong enough, there is no need for great divine will to take action. It's all done by her, the owner just needs to sit and enjoy. At this time, she somewhat missed the previous time. The enemy is getting stronger and stronger, but she feels that she is a little behind. Chen Mo naturally knows what his right-hand man thinks. He was about to tell Oran, "Don't worry, the arrival of the evil god has given him a new opportunity to evolve. And this will give Chen Mo an absolute advantage. As long as the gate of the void is opened, the evil gods of the void will have nowhere to hide. The great holy emperor, your victory has pushed our star soul world to a whole new level. We discussed and named this new era the Golden Age. What do you think?" The congressman looked at Chen Mo respectfully. At this moment, how dare they be dissatisfied? These words were uttered by the space master who has always been dissatisfied. At this time, he lowered his head with an extremely respectful attitude. Chen Mo glanced over, and the counselors bowed their heads one by one. As for the farther distance, there are cheers like waves. Welcome to Chen Mo, it is a brand new era. The entire star soul world fell into a carnival. Chen Mo can feel that the whole world is surrendering at his feet. Even if he is as powerful as him, his heart is still surging at this time. Chen Mo couldn't help but nodded with a smile. As his voice fell, boom. Announcement. There is an era of counselors in the Star Soul world, and it will be updated to a golden age. Let us offer our sincerest congratulations to the great Holy Emperor. An announcement also sounded at the right time, popping up on everyone's terminals. Next moment, with a thought, Chen Mo opened the passage to the Holy Terra again. The huge channel keeps expanding, and looking closer, the entire Terra seems to be connected with the Star Soul world. Countless people widened their eyes and stretched their necks. It was the first time for them to see the scene inside the Holy Terra with their own eyes. For the residents of the Star Realm who have long been accustomed to pilgrimage, the mystery and power here are full of attraction to people in the Star Soul world. Full of attraction to people in the Star Soul world.